Hi guys, welcome to Get Curried. This is the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar, and today with this recipe, I may possibly put an end to the perennial question, what came in first, chicken or an egg? Well, my answer to this would be a stuffed chicken omelette. Let's get cracking. First things first, oil goes in a pan. While the oil is heating up, let's start cutting the onions, tomatoes and capsicum. For this, I'm going to cut onions into thick horizontal slices. Moving on to tomatoes, again into thick horizontal slices. Green capsicum. All I'm going to do is remove the seeds and the cap of the capsicum and cut this into juliennes. The vegetables are cut and ready, so as the oil heated up, the first thing that goes in are cumin seeds. Once that starts crackling, I'll be adding in the onions and capsicum. Toss this up. While this starts cooking, let's also cut in few green chilies. Well, you can vary the level of spice as your choice. I'm taking 3 to 4. You can be your best judge. In go the chilies, and along with this, the tomatoes. To this now, after a quick few tosses, let's start adding the spices. Coriander powder. With this, ginger garlic paste, turmeric powder, red chili powder, chaat masala powder, and some salt. Stir this well and make sure the masalas are well cooked. While this is cooking, let's add in the juliennes of chicken. Increase the heat a little and make sure the chicken is completely well cooked. You just need to stir fry the chicken and at no point in time would be adding in any water. The chicken is cooked and ready. To this now, I'll be adding in some fresh chopped coriander and along with this, some lemon juice. A quick stir and off goes the flame. While the chicken is ready, allow me to move this and let's start with breaking the eggs. To this, I'll be adding in some salt along with red chili powder. Let's beat the eggs with a fork. And while this is happening, let's simultaneously also put some oil to heat. The oil is heated up. Let's pour in the egg mixture. I'm just swirling the pan around to make sure the diameter of this egg just increases a little. While the mixture is still a little runny in the center, let's add in the chicken mixture. Once the chicken mixture goes in, I'm lightly going to pick one side of the egg and cover it right on top of the chicken. The stuffed chicken omelette is ready. Let's transfer this onto a plate. With this, the remaining stuffing goes as an accompaniment along with any lettuce of your choice. Well, in this case, I'm using some kale. And finally, top it up with any sauce of your choice, whether sweet or spicy. Your simple and delicious stuffed chicken omelette is ready. Do enjoy and wait for what makes the Bombay chef gets into your kitchen. Hey guys, it's me, the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar, and welcome to Get Curried. Well, today I'm showing you a very simple recipe. Well, I don't know if you would know, but in Surat, there is this very special cart which possibly makes over 200 egg preparations. Well, this really surprises me because when you actually think about it, you really can't count them. And that makes it very fascinating. Well, today is one such recipe. Let's make boiled anda omelette. Well, as a chef, this place really fascinates me because, there's so much to learn. I have seen him also making gravies and curries using cooked egg yolks. Now, this is something that I've never seen anywhere before, and this really is very intriguing and it's a huge learning process. Well, this recipe is exactly the way you would like to make a masala omelette. So first, let's begin with the preparations for that. The first thing is, of course, cutting a red onion. The next ingredient that I'm going to use are some green chilies, and of course you can use the spicy variety, you can use the one which is not as pungent. That's completely your choice. Finally, some fresh coriander leaves. There you go. With the pre-preparations, we are done and ready. Another thing is to boil eggs and keep ready. These are 8-minute boiled eggs, and that just works perfect. If you like a little runny yolk, then 6 minutes is what you need to cook it for. Well, like I said, there is so much to learn from this one little cart which is in Surat. You get things like Surti Ghotala, Rasse Wala Omelette, Anda Bahubali, Anda Jahangiri, Anda Afghani. There are so many names and so fascinating because imagine with this one humble egg, you're literally making like 150, 200 recipes. Really surprising. Well, beating 2 eggs. So basically, now if you see, this recipe has 2 boiled eggs and 2 raw eggs. To this, of course, I'm going to add in salt. Along with this, a touch of black pepper. Beat this again. And this is kept aside. Let's move on to mixing all of these wonderful things together, beginning with chopped red onions, followed by green chilies, and along with that, freshly chopped coriander leaves. I'm just keeping a little aside because just a little on top will work well. Just a touch of turmeric powder. We mix all of this together. To this, I'm going to add in a pinch of salt, and this is only and only for the onions and the masala. Time to add in the beaten eggs into this. Let's mix all of this together. And this is your mixture for a basic masala omelette. Now, of course, a masala omelette also kind of differs in different places with different hotels and different restaurants. Different things go in. Some people also like to add in a touch of red chili powder. Some also like to add in assorted peppers. Some also like to add in mushrooms. But that's, of course, a vegetable omelette or an assorted vegetable omelette. But this one is a basic masala omelette. Heating a pan, which is an omelette pan. To this, I'm adding in a tablespoon of oil. Originally, what I have seen is this recipe is made with butter. But I personally feel it becomes too rich and oil just works perfect. The oil is heated up. Let's add in the egg mix. Let's swirl the pan and allow the egg to, of course, flatten and spread further. Now, to this, without wasting any time, I'm going to add in sliced boiled eggs. 3 quick things to flavor the boiled egg. The first one is just a little smidgen of red chili powder. Along with this, freshly cut coriander leaves that we had kept aside. And finally to this, freshly cracked black pepper. Well, this also kind of flavors the boiled egg. And if you notice, I have not used salt because salt was added while boiling the egg. The doneness of this recipe completely depends on you. I like it a little runny, tad bit runny, so I'm going to leave it a little undone. But nevertheless, if you like it completely well done, by all means, go and cook it completely. While this omelette is getting a wonderful color at the bottom, I'm just going to cover this briefly for 30 seconds. What happens with that is that the top surface, which is a little runny, gets perfectly cooked, and that's only for the ones who like it perfectly cooked. And with that, you have the most amazing boiled egg omelette done and ready. It's been 30 seconds, off goes the flame, and this straight goes on the dinner table. Actually, why dinner? It could be served for lunch. It would also make a wonderful breakfast. For such quick, simple and easy recipes, stay tuned to Get Curried. An egg, being such a versatile ingredient, makes for a wonderful breakfast, lunch, brunch or a dinner. Not forgetting the dessert courses as well. But today, I'm making a cheese and mushroom omelette. This is the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar. Welcome to Get Curried. Let's first begin with breaking the eggs in a bowl. To this egg, I'm adding in some milk or cream because the milk is going to make it nice, creamy and fluffy. To this, a few sprinkles of salt, some black pepper, and along with this, some fresh parsley. Let's chop this as fine as we can. Well, if you do not have curled parsley, you can also add in some flat parsley or cilantro. But nevertheless, curled parsley goes wonderfully well with an omelette. Well, if you get neither of the ingredients, you can also add in some chives or some spring onions. Give this a nice whisk. By whisking any ingredient, we are doing nothing but aerating it. By aerating, I mean incorporating some air, because that's how it becomes nice and fluffy. Well, while I'm whisking this, let me put the pan on moderate flame and continue whisking. To this pan, let me add in splashes of some oil along with some butter. This butter could be salted or unsalted as per your choice. Well, while the butter starts melting, let me add in some button mushrooms. Well, you can use your choice of mushrooms as well. To this, let's add in some salt. And to this, let's add in some freshly crushed black pepper. Well, you may also use in some white pepper if you feel so. A quick mix. Let the mushrooms start sweating in a little. Well, while these mushrooms are sauteed, let me reserve a few for later use. To the ones still in the pan, let's saute this on high flame. Let's increase the heat. And to this now, let's add in the whisked egg mixture. You may reduce the flame if you wish so and give it a nice stir. Well, you may get confused and ask that this is something that we usually do for a scrambled egg. But we do not know that in hotels and restaurants, this is something that is done to add the fluffiness to an omelette. Once we reach this doneness of an egg, just reduce the flame a little and try to get everything together, scraping the sides, like so. At this stage, I'm going to add in some grated cheese. I love using mozzarella for a mushroom and cheese omelette, but if you wish so, you can use any processed cheese as well, or a cheddar or a Edam also does well. Let's lightly fold the egg, something like this, and eventually try and lift everything and give it a flip. try to press the sides or the edges of this omelette and let it cook at the bottom side. Well, the steam that generates from the bottom of this omelette cooks the insides as well. Well, what you see at the edges is melted cheese, and do not confuse that with the rawness of an omelette. Let's transfer this onto a plate. Now that the omelette is ready, let's quickly make its accompaniment. Let's quickly make some sautéed spinach and some seared tomatoes. The first thing that goes in is some garlic in the same pan. Well, I'm using that with the skin because I feel it's much more nutritious than getting the peel away. To this, I'm adding in the shredded spinach, a few sprinkles of salt and crushed black pepper. A quick few mixes and let the spinach cook. Well, the pan here is also heated up. I'm adding in some cherry tomatoes and let these sear on a high flame. A little bit of salt. Let the tomatoes and spinach cook nicely and make sure they both are salted right. A quick stir to the tomatoes. Well, here you have the spinach which is done and ready. And finally, the seared cherry tomatoes. Here you have this beautiful, sumptuous cheese and mushroom omelette ready with a wonderful cheese fondue hidden within. And with this, any day is a brunch day.
Hi, this is Smita Dev and welcome to Get Curried. Today I'm going to show you a wonderful recipe which we normally get in an Iranian cafe, that is the Iranian omelette. For that, I'm going to heat a pan and heat 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. The oil is hot. I'm going to add 3 medium-sized onions that I have finely chopped, and I'm going to saute them till they are nice, soft and translucent. The onions have turned soft. I'm going to add a teaspoon of garlic paste, a teaspoon of ginger paste, and let's saute this till the raw fragrance is gone. To this we are going to add 2 medium tomatoes that are finely chopped. And we are going to cook this till the tomatoes are nice and soft. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste or puree, where I have boiled the tomatoes and just ground them to a paste. Now let's add some spices, a teaspoon of cumin seed powder, a teaspoon of coriander seed powder, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a teaspoon of red chili powder and some salt. Just quickly let's mix this. We don't want our spices to burn, so I'm going to add 1/4 cup of water to this and reduce the flame to a medium and just cook this mixture for 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of garam masala powder to this. Mix it well. And I'm going to spread this mixture evenly on the pan. And I'm going to crack the eggs in it. I'm going to sprinkle some salt on the eggs, and I'll reduce the flame to a low and cover and cook till the eggs are done. Serve this with some pav that's smothered with butter and enjoy your breakfast. And keep watching Get Curried.
Today I'm going to show you a simple omelette which is made with potatoes, eggs and cheese. So I'm going to grate the potatoes with a nice thick grater. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to immediately use these potatoes or they're going to turn dark. So I'm going to heat a pan, I'm going to pour some oil. I want the potatoes to be nice and crisp. It's going to be like a bed of potatoes. The oil is nice and hot. Let me make my potatoes nice and crisp in this. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to this. So you can see how the potato is getting nice and crisp at the bottom. So now I'm just going to spread it nicely and I'm going to just leave it on a medium to a low flame to make it nice and crisp. And see, the potatoes are also cooked. And now I'm going to cover this. The potatoes have become nice and crisp and brown. I've taken 2 eggs here. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of mixed herbs. And I'm going to beat this and I'm going to pour it on this bed of potatoes. And now my favorite part, I'm going to sprinkle some cheese on it. I love cheese. Who doesn't actually? I'm going to just sprinkle some pepper, very little salt, some finely chopped coriander, some chili flakes to make this look pretty. And I'm going to cover this and cook it for a good 10 minutes on a very low flame till the eggs are done and the cheese is melted. Our cheese, potato and egg omelette is ready. I'm going to shut the flame and I'm going to cut a slice of it like a frittata and serve it. See how gorgeous this is looking. So this omelette you can have with a side of mushrooms, roast tomatoes and some baked beans, some warm toast and butter.
Today I'm going to show you how to make a Spanish omelette, and it needs just 5 ingredients, and these 5 ingredients include oil and salt. So that's how simple it is. So let's get started. In this large frying pan, I've got olive oil heating up here. Ooh, it's starting to sizzle, I can hear that. And to that I'm going to add the onions. And what I really want is for these onions to caramelize, but slowly. I really don't want to turn the heat up all the way. I will cook these till they caramelize. So you'll see that after about a minute of cooking on a low flame, the onions have started to turn translucent. I'm going to continue swirling them around. Now you'll see that as soon as the onions start taking on some sort of color, that is your cue to put the heat on low and add the potatoes. So now what will happen is that the potatoes are parboiled. So when we add them to the hot oil right now, they will just turn nice and crisp. That's it. I'm just gonna turn the flame off. The potatoes have crisped up only slightly right now. That's fine. That's exactly what you want. You want them to crisp up slightly because the rest of it will happen when we cook it in the omelette. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is extremely interesting. You'll see that here I've got the 4 eggs here. I've just cracked them into the bowl and done nothing fancy beyond that. And now I'm just going to take cooked mixture here, and just as it is, add it to the eggs. Get all the bits of the caramelized onion and the potato. And once you've done that, you want to take a good sprinkling of salt, add it to the potatoes, add it over that, and here. Just take this, no need to scramble the eggs and mix them like that, whisk them or anything. Now just mix everything together like this. That's it. And now I'm just going to cover this with a plate and let it rest for about 15 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next step of cooking the omelette. Now I'm going to start cooking the Spanish omelette. For that, I've got a 9.5-inch frying pan here, which is greased really well on the inside. So I'm going to turn the flame on. Put it on low heat immediately. I'm not going to wait for this to heat up or anything. Just immediately add our mixture of the omelette. And then take the heat up to high and cook this on a high flame for 1 minute. So now this is cooked on a high flame for 1 minute. Immediately I'm going to take the flame and turn that down to a low flame and let this cook for another 2 minutes on a low flame. Now I really want the center to set a little bit, so I'm going to cover this for now and let it cook on a low flame for 2 minutes. Okay, so you want to cook this on a low flame for 2 minutes, or otherwise you want to wait. If, as a visual marker, if you want to look at it, you want to see that the center should be more or less set. Otherwise you'll find it very difficult when you're flipping it and the part that hasn't set will just kind of ooze out of everywhere. Just give it a check. Oh yeah, it's nice and loose from the sides. I can see that it's a little brown and crisp also. So I'm going to turn the flame off, take a plate, because now we're going to flip this over. Very important, flame must be off. Tight. 1, 2, 3, wish us luck. Look at how gorgeous this is. Slide this back into the pan so that it can cook on the other side. Same thing. You want to cook this on a high flame for 1 minute and then a low flame for 2 minutes. So turn the flame up high, and this time you really don't need to cover it. So now this is cooked on a low flame for 2 minutes on the other side as well. I'm going to turn the flame off. It's time to do our final bit of flipping. Whoa, look at that beauty. That is our gorgeous, gorgeous Spanish omelette. Just look at how perfectly browned it is. Of course, I've sprinkled some amount of fresh parsley on top. Look, this is a lockdown situation. If you have it, feel free to sprinkle that on top. If you don't, this is going to taste great anyways. So I really hope you enjoy this recipe. And before I sign off, I want to show you what this looks like from the inside. Ooh, I can't wait. Look at that. Look at those layers. So amazing.